My boyfriend's mom is obsessed with him.
My 22F boyfriend's 25M mom is crazy obsessive over him. We've been dating for 2.5 years and just bought a house together in the spring. She's always texted him all day every day, and I never understood why he would never respond to her and would get annoyed by that. She had a meltdown when we said we were going to buy a house and live together because she didn't want him to move out. She had to force herself to be supportive after the months of begging him not to go didn't work to her advantage. Which was weird to me because my parents were super happy and like, okay bye, lol. When we were moving in, she would come over and help all day. She doesn't have a job and hasn't for years, but then as we got settled in and didn't need help anymore, she would ask to come over and I would just say, no, not today. We're just relaxing and hanging out today. She was like, what do you mean no? And then would say that it would only be for a second to say hello, and we still said no, and that's where the crazy really began to show. It's been months now, and it started with a text every day asking if we want Starbucks, and we would say no because we knew it was a ploy to come by. Every time we do something to the house like hang a picture or move furniture, she wants to come see. She will say that she wants to drop something off or pick something up and then leaves without the thing she came for. This is every day, and when she does come by, she is constantly saying, I'll go now so that I'm allowed to come back, or, well, I didn't want to bother you guys. I know you're busy. I'm just going to stop asking because you always say no. I'll just pop by. And to top it off, she always texts him asking why I don't like her and why I'm not as nice to her as girlfriends usually are to their boyfriends' moms, and then asks him to delete the messages. Between the both of us, it's around 25 to 30 texts a day, whether we respond or not, with 10 of them trying to make an excuse to come over. Am I overreacting, or is this crazy? OMG, I think we have the same mill. We haven't even moved out yet, but when she found out we are going to be moving 25 minutes away, she lost her shit. Kept sending links to houses 5 minutes away from her behind my back, kept saying he'll be really unhappy if he doesn't live near his FAAAA Ami Illy. Even pretended to be asleep once so she didn't have to talk to just me about her house. Swear she wants to marry him or something. I've found the best way forward though, is to just let them be ridiculous, all the while they're just pushing their son further and further away, to the point they have no interest in seeing them. Obviously this is up to a point and you should still set boundaries, but rest assured you're not overreacting. My friend was telling me about Thanksgiving. It was ick. Her mom, who got COVID by being a denier and dumbass, was sitting too close and rubbing her arm. Friend looked at her and asked what that was about. Creepy AF. Every JN has their own way of peeing all over their kids to assert dominance. Like a dog. Your JN is a new level of creepy. She's like Velcro. Gross, so gross. She's acting like a crazy ex-girlfriend. There's no reason for her to text that much. Stop answering, replying. There's no reason for her to come over that much. Don't let her in. Keep the doors, windows locked. Get doorbell cameras. Why aren't you as nice? Well, maybe because she's always up your ass. Did the other GF put up with her BS, or did they shut her down? Put her on an information diet. Keep using that no power. This is what happens when moms have no personality or life outside of caring for their kids. You are not overreacting at all. If I was in this situation, I would set down boundaries. Tell her that you guys can sit down and agree on a day she can come over. Like every other week, or once a month, or however often you'd like. If she doesn't want to take advantage of that, then I would suggest limiting contact. Her behavior is only going to get worse. She is going to start showing up at your house unannounced and when you guys aren't home. Oh yeah, she's cray-cray. You need to get the motion sensor doorbell cameras. She's going to amp it up or will be slinking around your house when she knows you're not home. Tell her to join a book club. She needs to be around other adults so someone else tells her texting you both 30 times a day is nuts. Or maybe tell her to adopt a dog so she has something that will love her, follow her everywhere, and give her all their attention that she craves so desperately. Every time we do something to the house like hang a picture or move furniture, she wants to come see. How does she know you are doing this in your home? The key is not to tell her these details because they are none of her business, especially given how she is. For normal relationships, you could tell your parent that you've just hung a new picture up and maybe they'd ask you to send a photo of it, and you'd both move on. But since she wants to use any excuse to invade your space and inflict herself on you, don't share anything with her. Just keep saying no to her constant attempts to come over. That's all you can do. It might take many, many no's before she backs off. Or, unfortunately, she might never back off. Doesn't matter. Keep saying no. Better yet, ignore 95% of her texts and calls. She's using the phone as a choke chain to try to yank your BF back into her control. That only works if you answer the phone or reply to the text messages immediately. Call or text at one specified time per day maybe, and gradually increase the time period to once a week or whatever is comfortable for you. And no, you are not overreacting. And yes, this is crazy. This right here, she can only know as much as you tell her. Make the phone calls boring. What are you up to? Nothing. Anything new? No. She should eventually catch on if you are the non-confrontational type. If you are the confrontational type, then I would suggest having to tell her that she's being overbearing and he's trying to start his life, and with her constantly texting and trying to stop by, she's preventing that. My guess is she will play the victim. Fine, I'll just never bother you again. This is good. Let her out herself. In time out, she will come back with her tail between her legs. Will this work the first time? Probably not. It might take several talks because she seems like the dense type. You are not overreacting. She has an unhealthy attachment to her adult son. She wants him to be her emotional caretaker. To the extent that she wants to be a part of your relationship. You're absolutely right that good parents want their adult child to grow up, move out, and succeed on their own. A narcissistic and manipulative parent, however, does not. She wants him to forever be her little boy in her family unit, under her roof, where she make herself the center of his world. Have you talked to your boyfriend about creating boundaries? Like one phone call per week, and any other texts will be ignored, unless emergencies, but maybe don't mention that because she would probably invent emergencies to make your boyfriend come running to her. And one visit every 2 weeks for 2 or 3 hours maximum, like make plans that require you to leave the house after those couple hours so she must leave. If her guilt trips continue, your BF could also state that any attempts at emotional manipulation forfeit the next phone call or visit. Boyfriend could also make it clear that dropping by without invitation means she won't be let in the house and it forfeits her next scheduled visit. Just, basically, creating consequences for her actions. Telling her no and why obviously hasn't mattered to her, because the only thing that matters to her is your boyfriend managing her emotions. And she needs access to do that. Emo boundaries and consequences regarding her access to your lives is what would make a difference. You could also consider couples counseling to talk to a professional who knows about toxic family dynamics and can help advise you both on how to proceed so you can create a life for yourselves. Not always revolving around her. No, this is crazy. She thinks her son is her boyfriend and you are his mistress. You can have your BF be really direct and say, Mom, I'm OP's boyfriend, not yours. I love you, but I'm making a life with her. You cannot just pop over. If you do, you will be left outside. I will go as far as to let you know I see you and leave you out there. You need to respect our boundaries or we will decrease our contact with you as a whole. When she starts the waterworks, have him tell her that it won't work. She either follows the rules or gets blocked on every front. Then follow through. If she boundary stomps, block her on SM and telephone for 30 days. By the way, inform your local police station because she will try and call them to come by and do a wellness check, so tell them what is happening up front so they know. If she continues, extend it for 60 days and let her know once it is extended for 6 months it is time to go NC. She will either straighten up and do as you ask or she will show how manic she is and by then you will want to go NC. BC her behavior will be too much. You're not crazy. This isn't normal or healthy at all. It's intrusive and suffocating. It sounds like she has no life outside of her son, and now that he's left home, she's lonely and doesn't know how to let him go. Some of these are natural, normal feelings, but how she's coping with them is completely inappropriate. That's obsession bordering on harassment, with a heavy dose of manipulation and guilt tripping sprinkled on top. Your boyfriend needs to muster the courage to have an uncomfortable conversation and confront her about it, gently but firmly, before things escalate. Mom, it's not normal or healthy that you contact us dozens of times every single day and are constantly trying to come over. We're adults and we want some privacy together in our own home. I love you, but I really need some space, and I need you to respect that no means no. Have a serious talk with your BF and set some ground rules with his mom. No texting every day. No dropping by unannounced. Schedule one night a week for her to come over for dinner. Schedule one night a week where your BF calls her and talks for 20 minutes. Maybe eventually she'll get so bored she will finally find some hobbies and get out of your ass. Hi, 27 meters here. This is absolutely not normal. I text my mom maybe once a week to say hi and see how she's doing. We have a conversation, and stop texting until about the same time the next week. It looks like you guys are doing an awesome job about communicating openly about this. The next step is to dive a little deeper. Why does she send those? Why does she have to talk and see your BF every fucking day? No matter the answer, her behavior is unacceptable because it bothers you and BF. It would help to sit down with him and talk about how you want to handle this. Edit. Forgot to mention, those little passive-aggressive jabs about her not being able to come back are a way to break you down so she can walk all over you. You probably want to talk with BF about how you guys are going to handle that as well. This. Also on the passive-aggressive jabs, I'd say something about it. The next time she says, "I'll leave because I know you're just so busy," respond with something like, "Yes, we are very busy. Thanks for being so understanding, Mill. We'll check our schedule and let you know when you'll be able to visit again," and then mute her. That way you can still go read through her messages, but you're not being bombarded with the notifications. BF moved out because he wanted distance from mommy, right? What is he doing to tell mommy to quit acting like she lives in your house? Keep telling her no, and when she pipes up with her trying to guilt trip, saying shit like "so I can come back," tell her that stuff has never worked for her where you are concerned, and BF is getting tired of her insinuating herself into your lives. You are not overreacting. I think the term that describes what is going on here is enmeshment. I haven't read all the comments here, but time for So to set firm boundaries to disentangle from her emotionally. So's statement to his mom should, "We expect you to act like an adult by treating us like adults. Your life can't revolve around me anymore. You need to get a job, volunteer, whatever, and meet new friends. Your happiness isn't my responsibility. I don't take any pleasure in making you unhappy, but my life cannot be built around making you happy when it consumes so much of time, energy, and focus. Unfortunately for you and So. I suspect Mill has some personality disorder issues that prevent her from being able to create healthy friendships. So was her primary, only social outlet since he was trapped. If you are somewhat new here, do lots of research on enmeshment and extinction burst. It sounds like So has had enough of her and will continue to disengage, which could ultimately lead to a Mill having an extinction burst. As long as your BF ignores her, she will continue to go crazy. His lack of responsiveness probably edges her on to become even more extreme. You need to have a discussion about what both of you are willing to invest in a relationship with her and then tell her, and then stick to it. You are not overreacting. She has a sun-shaped hole in her life now that he moved out, but it is not your job to fill it. Children leave. Some parents take this harder than others. It might help if your BF explains to her that she is damaging their relationship with her neediness. Please get that woman a puppy. She doesn't sound horrible, more lonely and sad and not handling it well. She needs purpose. Also, try talking to her. Tell her you two are building your own lives together and need space to grow, but you would love to invite her for dinner every Monday to catch up. Maybe if you initiate spending time together, she won't feel like she needs to push so hard. Also, there are tons of people out there who get no love or attention. Maybe help her find a volunteer opportunity that she can connect with people. That's what she needs. I suggest you and So find an online family therapist and set up an appointment. Explain the situation to the therapist, then ask Mill to join you in a session. Hopefully the therapist can get Mill to explain why she feels the need to text 25 to 30 per day, why she feels the need to visit daily, and hopefully the therapist can also explain why that is abusively excessive. I cannot imagine texting my son, your BF age, every day, every week could be a bit much for us. But I do text them funny stuff from Reddit in a group text with my oldest son, his FW, and youngest. Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't. No bigs. There was a period where he was ignoring me, he felt shame about something he wasn't ready to tell me, and I did get scared, not take it personal, and we talked it out. Actually BC I have a healthy relationship with his FW. She told him, call your ma, she's worried. And that was that. It is bizarre to me that these JNM don't understand that it's not normal to text your grown son, while living there, a bajillion times a day. I can only think that no one has told her. Or truly ignore her. For days. OBVs, it's time to set some firm boundaries. And a backup plan to those boundaries. BC they may not work. You can't stop someone from texting. But you can put on DND or block. I can't tell if she's just bored to death and has no life, so son became life and she failed to accept that that was gonna end one day, or if she's generally trying to start drama. Either way, sounds like BF is supportive. Supplant those boundaries now before he falls in the fog. It may end here. I hope it does. I hope she respects the new ways and finds some hobbies. We're here if it doesn't. You are not overreacting, and be happy that your BF has the sanity to ignore the cascade of messages. Coming to visit without invitation is a big no-no, with the exception of emergencies. Don't say this to her because she will then, making up, said emergencies. Invite her to dinner or such every now and then when it suits both of you. If she insists to come without being announced and agreed, treat her cold or make an excuse like you have an appointment later or whatever, or keep yourself very busy, letting her see that you don't have the time to host visitors. If you are tired, don't get out of your couch. Very important, don't let her get her way in your house, treat her like a visitor. Sadly I have a lot of experience with this, but I was fortunate enough to do the right thing after a while just because my intuition. You're not crazy. She is. It's good you've got boundaries and you're both sticking to them. Does she have friends or interests you can get her to do so she'll leave you alone? My husband's mum is similar. We live 1.5-hour car journey away luckily. When he used to live near to her, she would go to his home at least weekly to clean even when he was sleeping 'cause of his work hours. He told her not to 'cause he can do it. She still did it when he was older even though he did it all himself and had for years. She's still clingy now and has tantrums when she doesn't get her own way. She has no life outside of her kids and 2 grandkids, both are mine. We've been together 20 years and she's just getting worse. Does she have a door key? If she does, you might want to think about changing the locks. I am surprised you haven't exploded yet. You are not overreacting. Your boyfriend's mum is a real piece of cake, controlling, overstep you, maybe jealous, over-intrusive and even manipulative. You have set boundaries already, saying no, but I don't think you are enough firm. You need to set time out to those boundaries if she cross the line, insist or try to manipulate you. That's why you need to have a serious conversation with your boyfriend about it. His mum's behavior doesn't show an healthy relationship, family dynamic. 30 texts per day, while you know how to say no to her, which is by the way the reason she said why she doesn't leave me. You have a shiny spine and she doesn't like it. Your boyfriend used to live with her. Her behavior seems normal throughout his eyes, because this is the way she acted all the time. He might still be in the fog, or doesn't he know how to process, or doesn't he want to hurt his mum. But that's very important that you both stand your ground, set boundaries and time out. You both have to show her that her behavior is not okay and there is consequences from it. Don't hesitate to honestly tell her what is wrong or what you don't want anymore. Overtexting, trying to come home all the time, etc. And if you hurt her feelings, you are not responsible about her own emotions and how she deals with it. You are not overreacting and she is crazy. My son is the only relative I have left. He lives 7 hours away and I encouraged him to move there. I probably text more than I should, but I don't expect a text back and I don't visit that often, less with the pandemic. I would love for him to find a nice lady, but he's business oriented so hasn't dated much. I love my kid with all my heart, but he has his life and I have mine. We'll always be really close. We don't need though to hang out 24/7 to be happy. That is normal behavior. That is healthy behavior. Amen, mommy, me too. My oldest wants to move 3,000 miles across the country. Will it break me a little? Yes. Did I tell him that? No. I told him that at his age, no kids, no mortgage, it's what he should be doing, and my goodness, live life to the fullest, not worry about ma, while you can. And, with the text. If I send something that needs no response, and he doesn't respond, well, I'm not even paying attention like that. I send text to make them smile, not so they can turn around and give me something that feels good and validate that I did a good job sending a text. Lol. Can relate. Except my boyfriend doesn't mind it at all. They have a weirdly close relationship where it's borderline inappropriate. What makes it worse is we had our first child a couple months ago and it has taken a lot for me to put up proper boundaries. My boyfriend shared on Facebook the other day how appreciative he is of his number one in his life, me, and his mom commented saying, "Excuse me. Like she should be number one. I really feel for you." Nope. For me, the biggest thing I realized is, no amount of telling people that they are crossing a boundary is going to stop them from crossing that boundary. You've got to enforce that boundary. Which you seem to be doing already. But I'd definitely amp it up. If she turns up unannounced, don't answer the door. Set an amount of messages you think is sensible to answer a day. For me, I think 6 is plenty. If you choose 1, that's cool too, between you and your so a day. Then after she hits the limit, you're now a black hole. She can yell and yell at you, but nothing comes back. Some people choose another approach. They set a time limit between contact. So mom texts, you respond in an hour. She texts again, you respond an hour later. Then increase the time as you go along until it's a day between contact. This also seems to be a common idea. Plus I vote, on days she's being particularly annoying, temp block her. You don't have to be beholden to her. If you decide peace and quiet is what you want for that night, block her and unblock her the next morning. Peaceful night. This level of contact is not normal. I literally dumped a guy for a third of this kind of behavior. It was also unwanted, unpleasant interactions. That much unwanted attention is not okay. My mill was like this with my husband when we first met. He's always been her surrogate husband, therapist, girlfriend, father, and when he started having his own life and less time to cater to her emotional needs, she struggled. It's been a long time coming, but she's finally gone cuckoo and he's realized that he can't help her if she won't help herself. Make sure you're both discussing boundaries and enforcing them, and you always work as a team, otherwise you'll have a third wheel in your marriage. Not overreacting. This is batshit. It's good that BF realizes it's inappropriate, though it sounds like he hasn't found a way to deal with it effectively. Absolutely do not let her in if she drops by unannounced. She needs to be given strict rules, a limit on communication and visits, and face consequences if she doesn't follow them. And there's no reason for her to know if you hang a picture or move furniture or do anything else that has nothing to do with her. Good luck with this one. This is a problem, but it shouldn't be yours. Talk to your BF and explain that you no longer wish to deal with his mother. All future texts need to go to him. Block her on your phone or have them go to trash or whatever. Do not respond to her anymore. It is not appropriate or healthy to expect you to field 20 to 30 plus texts a day from his family member. TBH, it is worrying that he doesn't see this as a bigger issue and isn't doing more to protect you from her crazy behavior. Intimacy us more than just having sex. I think women from failed marriages and maybe don't ever figure that out. Hubby and I have 6 kids. The last one moved out in August to keep us safe from COVID. We are ecstatic to be home alone nearly every night. Kids and grandkids may come for a few hours then go home. We order takeout or fix dinner. It's been 35 years of raising kids, and we are loving it. I would say Mill's marriage is not meeting her emotional needs if she relies so heavily on her adult children. If Mill says she's not wanted, I would ask her why she doesn't want to spend with her husband. We are newlyweds and we want to spend time alone. You text us 30 times a day, Mill. We just don't have that much to say. We want to spend time together, talk, watch a movie and have sex. We don't want to schedule with you. We can't have sex without our phones buzzing. I would shine a light on how obnoxious she is by being honest. Unpopular opinion is, I don't think she is batshit crazy. SAHM's identity was a mom for 25 years to her favorite son. It's not about you, it's about the mom trying to find her place in your family. Just because you're dating or married doesn't mean she disappears to only be seen on holidays. I strongly suggest family counseling with everyone involved and individual for her and couples counseling. Having a third party help you guys navigate your boundaries together and do it annually. As your lives may be different next year entirely or 5 years from now when kids come along. My hubby had a SOM mom and I was abandoned at 16 by my parents. Talk about a new dynamic. I just adored his mom though. I had minimal talks about boundaries and cutting cords, but I was lacking love and they had plenty to provide to me and my daughter. I miss that woman more than anyone I've lost in life, and she was only my MIL for 3 years before dying of cancer.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video. And if you are new, subscribe and click on the bell icon.